Is there a difference between jail and prison?
See, I never been to jail. I've been to
I've never
prison.
been to jail.
So I can't talk on 60 days in is a jail. Me
Yeah.
and her was in prison. So it could be different. Like everybody that went to jail was like, "Oh, I was so good glad to get out of that county. It was so dirty. It was so." I didn't experience that cuz I was in federal prison. So I can't say if that is fake. I mean, you do fight in there. It is drugs in there. I mean, it is relationships in there. So I can't say. I really can't say.
Welcome to a podcast about nothing with V.
And AD.
We have some very special guests with us today.
Hey y'all.
Hey, ladies. How are you?
I'm
What's up?
well.
Thank you so much for joining us. Mika, if you want to introduce yourself to all the people.
I'm Tameka. I've known Davina for a lot of years.
She looks
Damn.
A lot of years,
It's going on 20 years now, right?
pretty much.
A
You
long
look the
time.
same. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Dang, you old.
Yeah, you are too, Christina.
Don't do that. Don't do that to her. Don't do that to her.
Lee, very nice to meet you. This is our first time meeting you, but can you tell the people who you are?
I'm Leet. I mean, I'm
Where are
from
you from?
Jersey. I'm from Jersey. Uh, what else? 34 years old. I just got out in July of this year out of the prison. So, I mean, happy to be here. This is my first little podcast. I feel like a celebrity.
Yay! Thank you.
That's what we're going for.
That's,
Everybody's celebrity
you know,
in my eyes.
I I was a celebrity before the podcast, and I decided to change and start acting brand new. That way, when I became a real celebrity, people won't be like, "Oh, she changed." Like it's
I see where you
already
going.
yeah, it's already a thing. So you can take it off.
Okay. Well, we're here for the simple fact that I've been watching a lot of TV. I ain't even gonna hold you. One of the shows that we got into during this quarantine session is what is it called?
60 days
60 days in, right?
and love after lockup.
Love After Lockup has been, it kind of went on for 90 Day Fiance. It's an interesting show. Y'all should watch it. But the 60 days in, the season with Atlanta is what I started with, and then continue watching, binge watching over and over, like all the seasons. So I started asking questions like, is this real? Why do people want to do this for fun? What is happening here? And then I noticed, okay, it's not just people are going to jail and, they have a purpose. They're trying to figure out. One of the things that caught my eye was this is supposed to be a rehabilitation center, and I want to know if it actually works. Everybody had their own reasoning for, you guys should check out the show. Shout out to them. We're going to do something with them one day, I'm sure. But so with that being said, I wanted to speak to someone who's actually been through the experience to know if we're getting a proper depiction. Do they feel like the shows are a mockery? If it should be on TV? I really want to know from the experience that I've had with speaking with people who have been to prison, been to jail. They say it's all wrong. Some people say it's not as hard as you think it is. Like people have done 10 years,
Yeah.
12 years, and it's just, I just want to know the truth. And I've never actually had to sit down and people who have allowed me to speak to them and ask them questions. So this is where we are. Thank you guys. And
And is it a true depiction?
It's not.
um,
Realize these people are getting paid to go into prison, and they're exposing the lives of people who actually got sentenced and have to do time.
Mm.
A lot of it is for TV ratings. They go in and look for the worst of the worst. Prison is not like that. It's not like that at all.
Is there a difference between jail and prison?
see, I never been to jail. I've been to
I've never been
prison.
to jail.
So I can't talk on 60 days in is a jail. Me
Yeah.
and her was in prison. So it could be different. Like everybody that went to jail was like, "Oh, I was so good glad to get out of that county. It was so dirty. It was so." I didn't experience that because I was in federal prison. So I can't say if that is fake. I mean, you do fight in there. It is drugs in there. I mean, it is relationships in there. So I can't say. I really can't say
But
because I
you
haven't really
have
been
to
in
keep
jail.
in mind that it is still for TV.
Mm.
I think more so because from, I don't know if it was just this year, but I feel like in the last 2 years, this whole push, if you look at the shows on Netflix, like the push of showing you what's going on inside of jail and prison has been so big. And I'm like, is there something we should know about? Like, is there something going on? Like, I'm really trying to figure it out. So, you know.
Lee, what was it like? Well, one, what did you get locked up for?
Like, why didn't you guys have to go to jail? Because I thought that was a process before you got sentenced for prison.
No, I had to go through the what's it called, Tameka? Pre-trial process. So that means I was in prison for 3 years before I even got found guilty of anything. So my charge was conspiracy to distribute cocaine, more than 15 kilos, and conspiracy to a robbery. I got a.
What does that mean?
That means that
He say, she say.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a conspiracy. I planned. What it was nothing happened. It was about to happen. We were in an act of, but it never happened. So we conspired. We came together to do something that never happened.
Oh.
They have enough evidence to show if they did not intervene at that particular time, that you would have done the act. And they have enough evidence to convict you of it.
Whose side you
So
on?
Trump should get
No,
locked
I'm just
up
trying
right
to make
now.
it clear from both sides. I'm trying to make it clear from both sides. That's it. So they can understand from outsiders, and we're speaking as insiders, totally different.
So it's you didn't actually do anything.
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not exactly.
You was well, yeah.
She had the plan together. She had the plan. She had it all together. But
it was entrapment though. It was entrapment because they sent an ATF agent to us with the whole rundown of, hey, I got X, Y, and Z. Do you want to do this? And we're like, oh yeah, that's easy. That's simple. We can do that. We didn't have plans of doing it. We was minding our business. It was summertime. The ATF agent came to us.
Oh.
Well, wait. You didn't have plans beforehand to do it, and then the ATF agent came and already knew about your plan. And they came to you with a plan, and you was like, "Hey, why not?
We can execute that." Yeah. What it was the honest truth of it was a guy that got locked up and convicted. He got a 20-year sentence. Well, he didn't want to do that 20-year sentence, so he worked for the federal government, and he was like basically their worker. Go into the hood, find some people that's willing to commit this crime, bring them to us, and we'll knock down your sentence. So that's what happened. He brought this ATF agent into the hood. He worked his sentence off. That's what it was.
Mika, did you have the same experience or?
Mine was drug trafficking. By the time they picked me up, they had phone records, they had videos, they had everything built against me. And it wasn't to the point where I can say it was not me. So what I did was I took a plea. I was not going to go to trial with and try to get any more time. That's the difference between Leet and myself. I was convicted of drug trafficking with the intent to distribute cocaine. They did not have me distributing cocaine, but they had me on video with the trafficking.
What's the difference between what is trafficking? Because the way we know of trafficking down here in Atlanta is like
humans.
Oh no, trafficking, cocaine trafficking. So it was from one state to another. That's what made it a felony. Now, if I worked in just one state, it would have been at a state level. But once you cross state lines, it then becomes a felony.
Big money.
Stop it.
Balling.
But I get it. I'm sorry.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, that.
So what was your family dynamic before you went in? Did you have family members or in the system or that have been in the system?
I have a lot of family members that have been in prison and in the feds. Most of them did a lot of time, came home. Some of them did a little bit of time, but I can say that I have family members that have been down the same road that I
Because
have.
every single one of my uncles, I have 6 uncles except for one, were all like did serious time in and out of prison, you know, drug use, all that stuff. Durham, North Carolina. Shout out to you know, holding it strong. But every single one of them, even my aunts, my mom, all on my mom's side of the family, all have dealt with the system. And unfortunately, before all of my uncles passed, I didn't get a chance to actually sit down and have the conversation with them. I tried with one of my uncles, but he was so gone off of that Durham moonshine that it was no. Shout out to the moonshine folks. But yeah. But yeah, I couldn't. Lee, what was your family dynamic like beforehand?
I think pretty much majority, I'm not gonna say all of, but I think majority of my family members have at least been to jail at least once for whatever small or big thing, shoplifting, guns.
Yeah, I was about to say.
It could have been anything, but nobody's ever been to prison. So, like, they probably do a good 2-3 years tops. No, I got a cousin that did 7, but I mean, it wasn't anything new.
How
Like,
long was
to
your
my family.
sentence?
125 months.
And
10 and a
break
half
it down
years.
to layman's terms.
Quick math.
What?
10 and a half years. 10 and a half years.
For conspiracy?
For something that never happened.
10 and a half years. That's why you look like a baby. There's something about
Right.
it that be preserving the skin. Like, you
Listen.
look really young for you to be 34. Sorry, what?
Dang, you told me my... Damn, Tameka, you told her my age?
You told
you
her
did.
age.
That was in your introduction.
My bad. My bad. See, I'm still old. I'm a little old up there. I missed that part.
So that was the total amount, or is that including the 3 years that you had before?
That's including the 3 years, but you got to do 85% of your time.
Yeah.
I ended up doing a bit more of my time because if you get in certain... Don't start, Tameka.
I'm listening.
Jesus, what you do? I want to know. I'm sitting back. What you do?
If you do certain things that warrant them to take good days, because the 85% is because they tack on good days. Like, as long as you be good, you don't have to do the whole 10 and a half years. Well, I guess I didn't do too good in the beginning of my sentence. And so I lost good time a lot, whether it be fighting or...
So did you spend all 10 and a half years at the same place?
I only did 9. I only did 9.
You only did 9. Did you spend it all at the same place?
No, I went to 4 or 5 other prisons.
What's the reason for transfers?
I mean, if you get into a bad enough fight, or if they just need head count, or, I mean, the prison closed down. Right now, they're moving people because of the corona. It could be a multiple. If you got somebody with a separate T at the prison, meaning like me and that person can't be around each other, we got to be separate. You can get moved. It's a bunch of things.
When did you guys meet?
In 2016, I only did 10 months.
She
My
did baby
sentence
time.
only 166 days, a year and a day. So I did 10 months in Philadelphia, FCI.
It's not an FCI.
Say it again.
It's not an FCI. FTC? Federal
FCI.
Detention Center?
Is it an FDA?
FTC?
FDC.
Yeah, FTC.
Maybe. So I went in February and came in, left to go to the halfway house in October of the same year.
Short stay.
Yep.
Is that where you were initially?
That's where I initiated my time because they hold pretrial there because it's not that it's not prison, but it's not the actual like if you have a lot of time, they won't keep you there. That's for short time. Like Tameka's time she spent there because she didn't have a whole bunch of time to do. So it's just like holding basically, like for short term stuff. So that's where I started at. And then when I got my sentence, which was 10 and a half years, then I got to go to a compound where you get to go outside because in Philly, you don't get to go outside. It's just a high rise building and you're just stuck inside the pod all day. And so I got sent to a FCI, which she said initially, the FCI and the FDC is two different things.
What is that?
What, the FCI?
A Federal
Yeah.
Correctional Institute.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a compound. It's a big compound and it has a rec yard that you go outside and it might have basketball courts and volleyball courts and like you know it's a compound. Whereas though the FDC is the Federal Detention Center and it's just you just on one unit all day, every day. Well, except for Tameka, she got to get off the unit and run the carts and go up and down the elevator by herself.
Oh, we heard that. Special privilege. Let me take my notes. So what?
She was trusted. They trusted her, so she got to go and do whatever she want without no escort.
Where we stayed, we had women on 2 floors and men on the rest of the floors. So I was the cart runner, the food cart runner. So when it came time to deliver the breakfast, the lunch, and the dinner, I could go down to the kitchen, get the carts, and go to different levels. I guess they call that a privilege, I guess. But that was a difference where we stayed because it was men and women.
Right.
In the facility. We did not interact. So if men were in one area, the women will have to stay in another area and things like that.
Okay.
So how did you guys connect? What was your relationship on the inside?
The daily bread. One day I was sitting at the table, minding my business, and I saw Leet walking around, passing out the daily bread. Davina, you know I'm religious. Never gave it up. Continued while I was in prison. This was fairly when I started, so I didn't have any friends. I'm sitting by myself. And she was just passing out to the normal people who gets it every month. And I asked her, could I have one? And from there, we became very good friends. We would study together, read the Bible together. I mean, we became very good friends. Actually, cellmates. In a long run, we became cellmates.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
How many people were on the cell with y'all?
Just two.
Just two? Oh, that's dope.
We didn't have the ones, most males is like 6'2" apart and things like that. But it was only 2. It was a bunk bed. It was just two people per cell.
So how many people did you fight?
None. Me? Believe it or not.
None.
Tameka.
I'm serious.
Not one person.
Not one. I almost did, but not one.
Very
close. Very, very close.
It
did not happen because she did not come. Don't believe me. It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
It was that daily bread.
It wasn't me. It was put out there and it never happened. So I went on about my business. A person pushed me like a whole lot. And I can honestly say it was Leet's ex-girlfriend. She had plenty of girlfriends in prison. I'm a newbie.
Oh, wait.
Never been in
Don't
prison.
do it like that.
Let me write my notes.
Y'all gotta edit that part. Y'all gotta edit that part. Oh, whoa.
So, she became my cellie. And rumor was flying around that we were dating or whatever. And her girlfriend was still in the hole. So when she dropped, which means she came back to the unit, it was like so much friction. Over what, I have no clue. But that was to deal with, not me. But since I was a newbie, I've never been to prison. When I came in there, I had no friends. I sat at the table by myself, ate by myself, had my cell to myself, I was pretty much just doing me. the quiet person that I am.
Mhm.
I befriended a couple of people, and Leet was mutual friends with them. And since we were the younger out the crew, and of course we did the Daily Bread together, we pretty much clicked. She was more grown, more seasoned than what I was, and she was showing me the ropes, telling me this, telling me that. But to me, it was neither here nor there because it wasn't a life sentence for me. It was just 10 months,
Yeah.
sweat, just 10 months, But yeah, she's the one who got me through the odds and ends of prison.
That's perfect. I
Aw.
know. Need a friend.
We all need a friend, whether you
Yes.
in, out,
Because was
over there,
the
over
one thing
there.
that I noticed, I'm gonna go back to the show too. Did you have like a perception of prison and feeling like a way that you needed to act before you got there, when you got there that you kind of had to put on or be different?
Because I can't lie, I
Remember.
would just like start twitching and itching the
Okay.
whole.
So you could have it by yourself.
You know me, I'm
They sending you straight to the hole.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
I'm already
sending you
crazy
straight
as
to the
hell,
hole.
but
No,
I
but I didn't.
I would
And
just
it was
scratching my
because
crotch. Just
it was because I guess I'm Davina, I'm like a no fear type of person. I encounter things, keep it moving. So to me, it was another venture in my life. I didn't look at it as a negative thing. Me personally, I felt it was God's plan.
from the
Um,
very beginning, you felt that way, or
when
was
I
it
got
something
sentenced,
that you
when I
like?
got
I didn't
sentenced,
feel like
I
that.
knew it.
I
Okay.
didn't feel like that.
When I got sentenced, because you do a lot of praying, a family praying, and this and that. But when it happened and I got sentenced, I knew it was God's plan. It was certain things I asked for in life. For one, stop drinking, lose weight, do this and do that. And I guess
She
at
did
this,
real good on losing weight.
I
What?
did.
She told
Listen,
us.
she
Remember?
did.
I
Listen,
went
Yo,
from
I
192 to 138. I did.
got sent to the hole,
I was a
and
big girl.
I did. She was big, a big round. I didn't remember her
They
because
talked about me. Tell
they
them you
talked
talked
about.
about me.
Yeah, I didn't know. But I was in a hole for about 2 or 3 months. It was like 3 months, and they was like, "All right, Francis, you about to go. You about to drop. You need to find you a bunk." And I'm up there. I'm like, "What rooms are open? What rooms are open?" They like, "Oh, that big lady, Tameka. She, her room is her room
the
is
big
empty."
lady.
And they like, "But
Nobody
she
knew
not
me. I
big."
was quiet. Nobody knew me.
They was like, "She not big no more." And I'm like, "What big lady?" They like the little light skinned one. She looked like she might have Asian in her. And I'm like, I don't remember. So then I come down and I'm looking for the big lady, and she wasn't big. She wasn't big no more.
That's
Like she was
terrible.
slimming down. She really dedicated herself in there. Like she really did. She got me to working out. I was in shape.
I can't lie. I remember when I saw your Instagram page and them burpees, I was like, oh, okay, we can do this together.
She get it.
3 burpees and I was done.
Done. Exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, you definitely did. You lost a lot of weight.
I did. I mean, that's all you have to
man.
do. Well, see, there's different parts of prison.
That's not all you have to do.
You
She
can
had
you
me
can be famous.
starving.
You can be
She
prison
was counting
famous.
calories.
I
She
was.
it was man.
We
I
had
only could have one
nachos and
tortilla.
cake on
When?
Sundays. Nachos and
Oh,
cake. I
okay.
didn't make I was a cook in there too, Davina. I cooked when I was in there.
Mhm.
Are you serious?
Yeah, serious.
Yeah. We
See?
ate real good in ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
was
it's
mad
different.
when
It's
she
different
left.
people in prison though. You have the loud, rowdy people. You have people like me who wants to stay to myself, do my time, no problems. And then you just have other people who just fit in where they get in. It's like high school. You know how high school have the in crowd, they got the nerds over here, they got the people you don't even know their name, right? That's
Where you
exactly
put
what
me at?
prison is.
What category you put me in?
You were in the in crowd.
I'm about to say,
Everybody
you
wanted
I
to
was
be
around talking
Right.
to people.
Yeah.
What's up, y'all? Like
That's how
I
I'm
didn't
like,
though. Hold
if
on. Wait a minute. Was I the what's up, y'all person, or was I mean as hell? And people just wanted to be with me.
because you were popular. That the only way anybody knew my name is when me and her became friends.
So
Nobody
you
You
knew
like
say popular.
that Kevin Hart skit where
I
Kevin
was
Hart
not
was like, he went
famous.
on
I
the
wasn't
bus, everybody was
anything.
like, hey, yo, Leet. Hey, yo, hey. That's how everybody was like this. Hey, you was like,
Nah, man. I just been there a long ass time, so I knew the ins and the outs and everybody. You can't help but know me. And then when
Exactly.
you're a boy in prison, you kind of are, what's the word?
People eyes start
Dominant.
twitching. Yep.
Yeah, and then they want you, and they, it's kind of different. So that was my
So
problem.
they be wanting you. They be all up on you. But see, that's
She blushing.
See, that's the difference. That's the difference. You're in prison, and a lot of women in Philadelphia were there a long time. So it's like after a point in time, you're a woman, and it's like, dang, I do want to have sex, like
Yeah.
I'm having sex again. So then here
Thank
comes
you.
the popular person, Most of the time, I feel most of the time people in prison experiment with other women because of the fact you can't have sex with a man.
Yeah, that sounds about right. After a long period of time, you're like, well, fuck it.
I mean,
going upstate.
It
They
ain't
all
gonna
do the
hurt
same
nobody. It ain't gonna hurt nobody.
Like what happens in prison stays right here, okay?
maybe.
Look at you.
Maybe. So what was the process like afterwards? Leet, for you, somebody that was locked up for 9 years, and you say you just got out in July. How has it been?
Process still happening.
Yeah, it's still going on. Like, I don't know, man. It's just, this is all new to me. Sometimes I have days where I'm like, not that I want to go back to prison, but it's just like, it's so different out here. Like, I left in 2011. So now in 2021, it's just like, I don't know. It just, sometimes it's too fast to me. Sometimes it's overwhelming. Sometimes, I'm okay. And I'm blending and I'm moving and I'm grooving. But then sometimes it just hit me like, I guess because where I left off when I got locked up, like, I feel like I was at my highest. I was just getting out the military. I had all this money. I had cars. I had the girls. I had jewelry and all of this stuff. Did I lose you?
You good?
No, you're good.
Yeah.
About that something happened again.
Somebody really want to talk to me right now.
You gotta put your phone on do not disturb.
I don't know how to do that. See, I don't know how to do all of that right now. Tell me what. That's not funny. I really don't know what to do.
My phone be going off all the
Well,
time.
maybe she gonna stop.
So wait, you said military.
Yeah,
You served in the what?
in the Air Force for 6 years, and then as soon as I got out the military, 9 weeks later, I got indicted on this federal case.
Whoa.
Crazy, right?
You were in the Air Force, so you were like,
What?
you did your time in the Air Force.
Yeah, I got an honorable discharge. I got out, and I just was like, I don't know. I guess I was just, because I went into the military when I was 19, right out of high school. And then I guess I did that 6 years. I got out and I just wanted to let loose, and I was just in everything. I was doing everything. I was with everybody. And it just was one of those situations where I got caught up. You know what I mean? I got caught up.
Do you feel that your sentencing was fair?
Nah, man. That was, I learned my lesson after the third week I was in there. Like, I wouldn't have did that again. Like, if that's what like rehabilitation and all of that is for, like, I got it after the third week. I was like, oh, y'all don't want me to do that no more? I won't do it. I mean, I understood, you know what I'm saying? But 10 and a half years for something that I get it. Like, you know what I mean? I get it. I think it was too far. And that's why they try to change the mandatory minimum, because my sentence carried a mandatory minimum because of the amount of cocaine that did not exist. It carried a mandatory minimum of 10 years, which is crazy to me, because we talked about 15 or more kilos of cocaine, but the cocaine never existed. You get what I'm saying? So you're going to lock me up for talking about cocaine that didn't exist for 10 years at the lowest I can go is 10 years over some cocaine that did not exist. That's just crazy. Now, if I had the 15, I get it. I get that. I'm walking around here with 15 bricks of cocaine, but it didn't exist. So I feel like that was just too far. That was just too far.
I like, that's insane to me.
Right.
That is insane.
Does it
Because
have,
no matter if it was there or if it wasn't there, I got treated as if it was. You get what I'm saying? And that just don't make no sense to me.
were there any other, well, I guess you said that's the minimum, but were there any other like stipulations that went into it? Because I feel like people talk about, I don't really know the difference between states, but they always say like, don't get caught up in VA and don't
That's
get.
because it's a commonwealth. It's a commonwealth state. So it's kind of like stricter laws.
They can create laws, pretty much.
Right.
They can pass their laws. It's a commonwealth.
Right.
That's all.
Oh, they
But the thing about feds is it's straight across the board. No matter what facility you go to, it's feds. So
Right.
whatever your stipulations were when you were sentenced, it follows you, period.
Right.
So what were the COs like?
Some good ones, some bad ones.
Right.
I didn't like the fact that we had
Like
men. I don't know why they had men.
Wait, they had men for women.
Mm-hmm. And some of them was perverts.
I was just about to ask
it.
how many of them were perverts.
I believe that.
I was about to beat a lot of people ass over Tameka in there, man.
Stop it.
She got
Stop it.
skinny on them, and they was looking like. Because a lot of
Oh,
them girls, you know, you do a certain amount of things, and you could get some stuff in there. You know, you might want a belly button ring or a tongue ring, or you know, maybe some candy or something. Like you mess with a CO, he might get you that. You want a cigarette or something like that? I'm on a podcast right now.
I like the way that sounds.
I know.
I'm on a podcast. My niece peeking in. I'm like, yeah, I'm on a podcast right now. I sound like a celebrity, right? Yeah. So it was just like with the different COs, it ain't no telling. Like some of them are strictly by the book, you know, and then some of them, it was a lot of them that just they understood, like, you know, you got caught up, and they may have family members that have been in a situation. They don't treat you like no different or anything, and I mean, they humans just like us. So it was assholes, and it was good people in there.
So Lee, when Tameka lost all that weight,
you start shit.
She was the popular one then. They was on her. They was like light skin. Because you know, yeah, light skin, wasn't they?
No, they were not. I was still quiet. I was still me. I still hung out with my little circle of people.
You.
That's it.
But the people, like, you know, the girls, they talk on the toilet bowl in there. You know what that is?
no.
Hold on, wait. So is that toilet flushing thing real?
Yes.
Yeah, it's real.
I told you it was men in our facility.
That show on Netflix, they were flushing the toilet to be able to send messages. And talk.
You don't. Oh yeah, to send it.
Talk, but they also did it. It was like the boys on the top, the girls on the bottom. And he got mad because she wouldn't respond and flooded their room with the toilet.
Yeah. What you do is you clear out the toilet bowl. The girls, they put their hand in there and they pop the water back towards the thing, so that it's basically a hollow pipe. And all of the rooms are created the same way, all the way up. So the piping is just, if he clear out his toilet bowl and you clear out yours, and you put your face down there with a little something round, y'all can talk straight through. And it's just maybe a little echo. If somebody flushing the toilet, you'll hear some water come through. But that's what they did to survive. So when she got fined, the boys was like, tell the little light-skinned girl with the cart to come to the toilet. Tell her to talk to me.
I never did it. Come
talk to me.
You ain't go to the telephone. The telephone.
I'm sorry. I was not about prison life at all. I just wanted to do my time and get out of there. That is it. No, I was not about the whole
I'm not about to
talking and all that stuff. No.
You ain't want no little boo?
No, I did not. No, I did not.
She ain't have a little boo.
You ain't have a little boo, Tameka?
I had Leet for about 4 months. It's about 3 or 4 months.
Dang, Lee, what you do? Leet looked like she would do something.
No, it was that we bonded over a lot of things, a lot of similar things.
Yeah.
Even though she's younger than I am, it's like we bonded. And it wasn't about prison life. It was more about, like I said, the daily bread. When we became cellmates, we would read the Bible every night together. We would pray. Sundays, we'd get up and put on our gospel music. So we really had a bond.
Yeah. We went to church. Shout out to Enon.
We did.
Baptist Church. We went to church every Sunday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we got real close in there. When we was in the room and that door was closed, it didn't feel like prison. Like Tameka made me feel like, and I know it sounds crazy, but like all of that nonsense and all of that, like she's so grown about it. Like, you know what I mean? And it just felt like, I don't know, she was like my comfort zone. You know what I'm saying? Like she got me through it. I didn't have to worry about all that. When the doors open, I had to put this face on. I had to stop playing with me. I'm next in the line, all of that. But when I was in there with her, it was just like, you know, I can laugh, I can joke. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You could be you.
Yeah, people told me I changed her. Like, you calmed her down when she was rowdy. See, I didn't know the rowdy. Well, yes, I did. When I first got there, her and her girlfriend at that time, I mean, she yelled at Leet like they were husband and wife. I mean, they go through there just yelling. I had to ask, like, who are these people? And she need to walk.
I didn't want it. I didn't want it. I would be walking. Tell the truth, Tameka. I'd be walking.
I said you'll be walking, and she'd be yelling.
Oh, just please, Jesus, help me. Get her away from me.
Yeah.
I don't want it no more. But she wasn't having that. She like, oh no, you gonna take it. Like that's it and that's all. So I mean, so that's when I moved in with Tameka, it was a big thing. And then it was like, you know, Tameka was a big thing to me. And I just was like, all right, I don't want nothing else. I just want to chill with Tameka. Me and Tameka, she got me on a good path. I feel good. I'm feeling lighter. I feel like, I mean, like myself a little bit. Like I'm not thinking about beating people up all the time. I'm not.
And that went out the window when I left, huh?
3 days after Tameka went home, I beat somebody up so bad and I got sent to the hole and then they got me shipped out. I just missed her. You know what I'm saying? Like she was my, and I hate to sound like that because I kind of sound weak when I think about it, but it was just like.
Nah, you don't. You don't.
It was just so much negativity in there, man.
He had a long-time girlfriend. When we were bunking together, we talked about her a lot. So I knew what we did was only temporary because she already loved somebody else.
And this girlfriend was on the outside?
No, she was in another facility.
Oh, okay.
So we talked about a lot of things. I was married. I was married when I went in. So the council was like, sure, you can move in wherever. She got a husband on, you know, she not gay. But what it really was about
it wasn't really about that though. It wasn't really about that.
You can
tell. I would say it doesn't seem
tell,
like that. It doesn't even seem like that between y'all.
You guys were each other's safe space, is what it seemed like.
That was a good part. That was a good part, but that was not the main part. Like even if you took that part out of us, like, you know, being intimate or whatever the case may be, like Tameka, my dog.
She just needed somebody to talk to. That's all.
And,
somebody
that
cry
listened
with to her.
And cry with, and I mean, we did it all. Like you can take that sex away and all of that. It didn't even matter. Like she listened to me. She gave me advice. She told me when I needed to shut up and listen. Like, and it made sense. Like I'm not just gonna shut up and listen for nobody unless you making sense. A lot of people don't make no sense, so I'm not gonna shut up and listen. Like Tameka made it make sense. You know what I mean? Like she was just good to me. You know what I mean? So when she left, I said, all right, I'm up out of here. Gotta go. I gotta go. Who the victim? Nah, it wasn't like that. It was just that when she left, it got like, I guess I turned into fresh meat again because it was me and Tameka and it was me and Tameka. And that was it. Like I got the focus. I was
people
on my Bible.
were upset about that one.
Yeah, I wasn't interacting.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't interacting. I wasn't flirting. I wasn't doing this. I wasn't doing none of that. I was studying. I was into this. Like Tameka changed me a lot. I mean, it was a child molester there. Tameka got me to at least greet her. I don't play with child molesters. I don't play that at all.
Question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and it was cut you off due to your charges.
Yeah. I
don't play that about
it. Serious charges in there that people ain't mess with because you know we hear about the children thing and then the rapists for the men. Those are the two that
Same thing for women. It's the same thing for women. Mm-hmm. But they run like hand in hand. So if you in there on a child molestation charge, that means you did something with a child. And some people don't care or whatever, but I don't play that. I don't play that at all. You're not about to be in my space. I got pictures of my nieces and my nephews in my locker. And I believe in being around the people that are like me. I'm not like that. So I can't get down with it. We ain't got nothing in common. We don't have nothing to talk about. I just didn't play that. Yeah.
But yeah, Tameka, a lot of people try to keep their charges to themselves. I mean, if we weren't Bunky, she probably never knew what I was in there for.
All I had to do was go to the law library and pull up your name, Tameka Evans.
No, but it wouldn't give you. It would tell you where I am. It wouldn't give you what my charges were. And that's all you get.
It's just for your name.
No, if you look in the law library, you can look up your case.
We didn't have access to that. There we did.
Yes, we did.
When?
It's one computer in there. That one when you go in the computer room, that one in the back that always say out of order is really not out of order.
I never knew that. See?
Yeah.
Wait, what was you on the computer doing? I know it's not
You had to know my first name though. You had to know my first name. We went by last name.
Our names is on our uniform, baby.
No, it's our last name. I was Evans. You were Z Francis. I was T Evans. You had to know my name.
But it's not hard when they call the mail. Evans, Tameka Evans. It's not that hard.
I got my mail.
They never got. Oh look, see them special privileges.
See them special privileges again.
She done lost weight and then she able to drive the car all up and down.
She got the card on different floors.
But I'm gonna tell you one group that ran together was the DC group.
Oh my God.
DC.
I wish they would just run away too.
But nobody knew I was from DC though. Nobody knew I was from DC.
She told them she was from Washington.
They couldn't hear it in your voice.
They so you tell me the people from DC
couldn't tell
Maryland and Virginia didn't know that you said Maryland,
the way they represent DC was terrible. I wouldn't even want anybody to know that I was from DC. When I first came in, the Spanish women took me in. Not one black person or anything. The Spanish, they told me, come up. They fed me. They moved me up into my room on the second tier. I rolled with them. Not one black person. DC didn't take care of me because they didn't know I was from DC.
I'm pretty sure I gave you a toothbrush and some soap. Me and my friend Jackie.
She like
hold on. That was about 2 or 3 days in. When I first came in that night, it was the Spanish people that came. First spoke Spanish, like I don't speak Spanish.
I was about to say, sorry. They looked at your edges and was
I guess that's a good thing. I could blend it anywhere. But yeah, they took me in and we became very good friends. She's part of the welcome committee. The new people come in, they have more because you got to wait for commissary. So I came in on commissary days. I had to wait till the following week. So I had to use like the little gel everything they gave me, like the little soap, that soap was terrible. It's like you was using sandpaper. The little toothbrush they give you. So I had to wait until commissary to order my personal some food and things like that. I didn't know eating the tray wasn't cool in prison. It was food, so I was gonna eat it. But then I did learn that you got to get certain stuff off commissary. I learned how to cook, She taught me all these recipes and everything was made in the microwave. From cakes to nachos to black beans, we use the microwave for everything.
Quesadillas, fried rice, apple patties.
Rice. Yeah, but everything was made in the microwave.
Don't improve air fryer.
I know.
Right. Quick heat.
So when it came to race and people being charged, did you see that it was like an imbalance? Definitely were there more African-American women in the system than white Latino women? Did you see any Asian women? Let me ask you that.
We had one Chinese lady. What was her name? Lee?
Yeah.
It's always
she was so funny. But she was black though. She thought she was black.
Yep.
But let me say this first. Philadelphia was a holding. So if people got sentenced in DC, enough time, they would ship them to.
They had a contract.
So they shipped them to Philadelphia, even though they weren't charged with federal charges. It was just a housing unit for them. So you
I thought everything in DC was federal.
No.
Because you're not a state.
No.
But everything is a felony, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not at all.
You said DC doesn't have a jail, right? I thought you said
they don't.
They don't have
not for women. They have a jail for men, not women. So a lot of them came there with short time. Even I only had 10 months. Some of them came with for like 6 weeks or 2 months and things like that. But then you also had people who were doing life. And we didn't want to mix the two. So when you ask about race, it was white, it was Asians, it was Spanish, it was Blacks. Most of them didn't interact. Everybody had their little group, unfortunately.
It was like races were separated, like the white girls were doing really.
I mean, you stuck with your race, but it wasn't like how in the men prison, the white people don't fuck with the black people like it's a beef. It wasn't like that. It was just the Spanish people, they all cooked and they all ate together. They wanted to be in the same cell together. The white people, you know, they kind of just, they were scared of the Spanish and the black people, so they stuck together. The black people, we just, you know what I mean? It just how it is, you know what I mean? It wasn't like
you go where you're born. You go where you're born with people.
Yeah. That's life.
Yeah.
But it's funny because 90% of my time I sit at the table with 3 white women.
Me too.
Well, we were only
were they older white women?
They were older. One of them is
actually still in doing life. One of them is
doing life. Donna Munda. Yep. Donna Munda.
Can't
that's
use
my
names.
friend. Why not? They didn't tell me that.
It's not a release.
Oh, they didn't tell me that.
Huh?
I mean,
I can't say her name.
We ain't famous yet, so
that's my friend.
They can't cancel us.
I still email her.
You do?
Yeah.
One of them went back to Germany. Mindy is the other one, but she couldn't join us today. Leet is one, and Donna.
Dang, Donna about to be famous. Y'all should. When I send the link to you, you got to send it to her. We'll make a little social media ad.
Won't be able to see it.
She can't see it at all.
We don't have internet. We have core links. We send emails. That's it.
Just words.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. The only way you'll be able to talk to Donna is if she set up a video visit. You can set up a video visit.
How you do that?
That's the only one.
You have to be on her list.
Yeah,
on her list. Yeah, like with her email and stuff like that.
Hey Donna, put me on your list. Put us on your list. We call a podcast about nothing.
That would be a good podcast right there.
It would. Hey Donna,
it really would be.
Let us know how
featured on Snap.
How can I put something on her commissary to get this interview?
Hold on, oh my God. I love that show. You heard that? That's your type of people. You like that?
Yes,
show.
That's your type of people.
It's saved on my what's the name? Every episode.
So I had to look her episode up.
It has her
episode up. Yeah, it's her. I ain't gonna say she did it, but it's her episode.
It's her episode. Yep. I'll send you the information so you can pull her up and look at her. So yeah,
that's
she was.
Love you, Donna.
Yep. Yeah. Anybody want
to give me on
Bono? Let me know. Help her out.
Get me on the inside with the people.
She's trying to
nah. I don't have it in me. I'm telling you.
Let me ask you all a question.
I'm gonna go out there. I'm just
from looking at TV shows, Orange is the New Black, 60 Days In. What is your perception of prison? What would you think a female goes through in prison?
I think it's
the best sex you've ever had.
That's all she thinks. That's all she thinks about. Like, that's
I literally the first thing that comes to my mind is like, God damn. This about to be lit.
It's not as good as you want, because as soon as you get into it good and you hear them keys coming, you got to jump up out the bed. You got to go. You got to act like nothing going on. You got to act regular, because you're not supposed to have sex in there. So if you got you a CO that's really doing their job and they walk in every 10 minutes and they making sure that, everybody's okay in their cell, Yeah, it'd be rough. Or you get that one that don't care about nothing, and he just like, long as y'all don't kill each other, it could be a good night.
Depending on who you got walking the floor.
So you tell me you
Right.
ain't never think about
No,
that.
I'm thinking like she said, what do you feel like it's like? Like I feel like that's a part of what they say. Like
Oh yeah.
girls be having girlfriends and stuff like that. But for me, it sounds like high school. Like she said, it
Yeah.
sounds clicky. Like it
Mhm.
seems like it from every show, every depiction. Like we hang with her, we don't talk to her, we don't like.
Mhm.
It seems like
Well,
that.
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
That's
like
It
exactly.
is.
that's the perception that I had. I feel like
Yeah.
it's actually different now that I've watched more shows, and I'm noticing male prisons they seem different to me. They process it different, in my opinion.
Of
We have
course.
to realize if you put cameras in a prison, people going to act out and show out. Period.
Yeah.
That's not how we act every day. It's
Mhm.
especially with 60 days in. People see cameras in, so they gonna act foolish. You
Yeah.
know,
Right.
it's really laid back. You can mind your business, or you can get into all the trouble you want.
Well, that's the 10 months that you did in just the holding facility. If you would have hit a compound, it could have been, it could have been good and it could have been worse. When you're on a compound, you got a lot. Whereas though we just had our one friend that had life, you got 30, 40, 50 lifers on a compound of 250 people. The dynamic changed a little bit. And you got people that got 50 or 60 years, the dynamic changed a little bit. See, in Philly, it's shortchanged. So people kind of trying to be on their best behavior because they're trying to get home.
Mhm.
Whereas though if you on a compound, I ain't going home no time soon. So this is my house and this is how I'm going to act. A lot of them have that mentality. So it depends on what facility you in. When I was in Minnesota, it was only one black CO there. They ain't play about, they race. Like they was really hard on white people, black people. And if you was a white woman and you dated a black person, it ended up bad. You know what I'm saying? And
Minnesota.
I don't know. It's just
Yeah,
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
The prison name is Wasika, Minnesota. Yep.
Dang.
So it just depends on where you at. Like in Tallahassee, Florida, they real ghetto and ratchet down there. You pretty much can do whatever you want. You ain't gonna get in no trouble. Like, you know what I mean? It's bad down there. A lot of COs and inmates and COs, and you pretty much can do and get away with whatever you want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that.
It just depends on where you at.
Those
What
sound
other
like
prison?
a more dangerous situation where you can
We
just
It
do
is.
and get
I'm
and
about
get
to say,
away
that
with
sounds
and no
like-
consequences.
Like literally every 2 or 3 months, it was an officer getting walked off, meaning like taken off the compound because he's under investigation or she's under investigation. They caught a CO that worked at commissary. She was down there with her girlfriend and they was doing a thing. Caught them in the act. She got caught. She got taken off. It was a guy there that he was a CO. Like I think a year before I got there, he gave a bunch of them the HIV virus, and then came to the prison with the intentions of getting killed. So he shot up the compound, like not shot up the compound, but he came on the premises shooting so they would kill him, and they did. It's a
So
lot
you
that
wouldn't
goes
be
on
convicted
inside
and
there.
get locked up in the same place
Exactly.
and mess
Mhm.
with people in.
Exactly.
Damn.
Yeah. And they said he gave at least like 10 women the HIV virus.
Did you ever were you ever afraid of
Dang.
catching anything as far as like STDs or anything like that?
Yeah, but I had an old head that taught me when I first got in there, and you can also get paperwork, but sometimes you get in the mood and you don't want to wait 2 weeks for the paperwork to come. What I was taught was if you deal with somebody, make sure they're not in pill line. And if they in pill line, it's a chance that they got something or it's something wrong with them up here or down there that you don't want to deal with. So you just get you somebody that's not in the pill line.
That's smart.
That's real
I was
smart.
like, that's a good, quick way to think.
That's like
Yeah.
a female going through a man's medicine cabinet to see if
Yeah.
medicine in their cabinet. But the
Yeah,
pill
what's
line is just
going
they just come and say pills and everybody line up and get their pills. You don't know what they're taking, but you know.
And
they
guess what?
line.
Them people from DC take off running, don't they, Tameka? They want to go get their pills. They want to get high.
They wanted to play crazy. So when you play crazy, you got to take medicine. You know what I'm saying? So
And the medicine, they crush up the pill, and some of them snort it, and they give them the illusion that they high.
Mhm.
Dang.
Mm.
We have you on
Mhm.
all kind of stuff.
Nobody's talking about
Yeah.
people from DC. Merlin.
Merlin.
Merlin. Damn. Thank you guys so much for this. This was really, really dope.
Yep.
I am trying to get in contact with Donna though.
We about to go watch
Donna.
I
My
wanna,
people's Donna, man.
that's
Yeah.
research for us.
Yep.
About to go watch some more TV.
So
Look
I
at
guess
this.
we do have to ask, the closing questions. Do you feel like being a rehabilitation center that it works for what it is?
It works if you allow it to. Some people don't want it. It's offered. You get extra money if you take your GED, if you get a trade and things like that. People don't want to. The programs are there. From where I was, the programs were there. If you choose to take them, if you don't, they don't twist your arm. It's not school. It's up to you. You're an adult. You have to sign up for it and you have to stick to it. I went to any program that gave me a certificate. I went to it.
Mm-hmm.
We did weight loss competitions. I did it. We did STD classes. They'll bring people in to do some training. I took it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's only 4 or 5 people sitting in there because that's what we chose to do. Like when we went to church, we chose to go. But again, you only had 10, 11 people sitting in church.
Right.
But it's there. All I can say is it's offered to you. You have to be open to accept it. Even though I went in, I already took my GED when I was 17. They offer $25 in commissary, free money if you took your GED. I took it. Free money.
Yeah.
So yes, it works if you want it to work for you.
Do you feel the same way, Leet?
Yes and no. Over my 9 years, I came across so many women that, whatever their situation, like it's not if it's gonna work. It's some people don't got nothing at home. You know what I mean? And all they've been doing was this prison time, in and out, in and out. And I'm not picking on the DC people, but especially the DC people, because any little thing, they in and out, and they in and out. And they on drugs bad. Not just the DC people, but especially the DC people. And it's just like, it's somewhere they know they're gonna come, and there's gonna be people with good hearts like me and Tameka and a lot of other people that'll see you, and you detoxing and you need coffee and you you know what I mean, you can take a shower and it's not, you don't have to sleep with a man to get something to eat. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I ain't going home. Like, you know what I mean? I'm comfortable in here. I met a lot of people it's okay in here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really nobody on the streets, but in here, I'm the man, or so it's, if you want it to work, meaning like the objective is to stay home. For some people that got families like me and Tameka that, can't live without you and they need you and all of this stuff and they love you, then yeah, like you're gonna get your mind right and you're gonna be like, oh no, I can't do this no more. I definitely can't do 9 more years. My grandma already told me I ain't got another run in me. So this your last run. I'll be damned if I go back. But it's some other people that ain't got nothing else to live, It's comfortable in there. It's not that, and I don't want to sound like that, but if you work it right, it's really not bad in there. And
especially for somebody who, like you said, doesn't have anything on the
time.
outside.
Yeah, like a nice hot shower.
Yeah.
This water is
4
hot.
meals. 3 meals a day. Yep.
Yeah, and if you finesse the right person, they're gonna come out of their pocket and give you a bag of chips and 3 noodles and stuff like that. And I don't have to have sex and degrade myself with a man. Like, you know what I mean? It's really not that bad to some people. You know what I mean? That life outside is just terrible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and they still get to get high.
Yeah. One thing I did notice about visitation, like I said, we had men in our facility as well. Men would get visits all the time from many different women.
We only have 2 visitation days.
So
the men had the rest of the week.
Right.
Yeah.
So
no, we were Sunday and Monday.
Oh, Sunday and Monday. I had visits every weekend. Somebody came to see me. It's people in there with no money, no visits. no phone call. They don't even have money to call out to their family. So this becomes family to them. The people that they're in there with, they don't want to leave. So they'll go do something stupid to lose a couple of more days, you know. And the sad part about it is people don't understand, outsiders don't understand how important it is to stay in contact with people that's in.
Right.
Because we get lost. Once I got used to prison, although I know I had my visits, but I stopped making my phone calls home, you know, because you only get what? How many minutes a month?
300 minutes a month.
300 minutes a month. So once you go past that, if you use that in the first 10 days, you 20 days without a phone call. But then I learned, I tried to adapt to my environment and not worry so much about what was going on at home because I was in prison and couldn't change anything. So the phone call stopped, but my visits never did. So when the thought even came across my mind to fight somebody, knowing I'm gonna lose my privileges, my phone, my visits and all that, knowing I had my grandkids, my parents, my children who would come up there faithfully to see me. So I had a lot more to think about than to be reckless and to go to the hole. But it did get to the point where I was going to do it because I think I only had like 2 weeks left there or something.
And it was your last resort. Yeah, man. It was last resort.
Yeah,
this lady
so-
would not, she was relentless. Like it was ridiculous. Like it was relentless, man.
Yeah, but I was willing to lose it all because I had a little bit time left. But to do it when it first started, I couldn't risk my phone calls. I couldn't risk my visits. My kids and my family was like the world to me. So yeah, it's your mindset when you go into prison. It's really, I mean, because some people wait for other people to leave. Like, can I get your tennis shoes? Can I get your sweats? Because people don't have money.
Yeah.
Right.
And was it hard when your kids came up there to see you? Was it hard when the kids came up there to see you and your grandkids?
It wasn't. Those were the best moments of my life. It got me through.
That's the incentive. That's the incentive.
It is.
They come and see you,
got me off the
and
unit.
then you, yeah.
It got me off the unit.
Something to look forward to. Yep.
Right. So I knew some on Sunday and Monday, my name was going to be called. Whatever time they came, and I spent the whole time out there with them, the whole entire time. And then we got to get food out the vending machine. Food out the vending machine is really good when you're in prison. We look forward to that.
Yes, it is.
So yeah, that matters. That matters. But then again, you do have people who, like Leet said, who just want to stay there. That's their life because they're jail famous. They come home to nothing at all.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Especially like you said, it's hard when you have nothing at home.
Right.
When you have nothing at home.
Nothing to look forward to, nothing. That is.
I do have another question. I feel like I have so many questions now, but Leet, so you were honorably discharged from the military.
Right.
When you went to jail, was that stripped away from you?
They can't. You can't take that from me. I earned it.
Yeah.
I'm about to say 6 years. You can't take shit from me.
You can't take that from me.
Even if you try.
Now, listen. If I had caught this case under investigation while I was in the military, then, but they can't. I did my time. I served. I did everything. I got out, and then I got wrapped up into this. So they can't take that from me.
Another question. So do you feel like also that, you're like, Tameka, you say you took a plea, like they caught you red-handed, right? And then for Leet, like they didn't catch you doing anything. They didn't catch you doing anything. It was like, oh, you're intending on doing this.
Right.
Do you feel like your mindsets were different because of that, because of the charges and how you got your charges?
What you mean?
Like, for example, you didn't do anything. They didn't catch you with anything. It was conspiracy to do something.
Right.
Tameka said, well, yeah, they caught me doing it.
Right.
Red-handed. When you went in like with this, your stay was a lot different than what it seems like Tameka was. Your feelings towards it, fighting.
Yeah, I had a chip. Yeah, I had a chip on my shoulder because I'm not supposed to be here. Yeah. I'm not supposed to be here for this. Like nothing happened. You know what I'm saying? So of course I'm pissed, and I lost a lot of good time my first 3-4 years because I was angry. You know what I mean? Like I'm in here with these people. I'm calling home on Thanksgiving. You got to see how these trays look in Thanksgiving. I remember calling home. A lot of the holidays I would end up in a shoe because I was so mad I couldn't be with my family I'm not even realizing that I'm doing it. But once I look back at it, a lot of my time, maybe 6 of the years out of the 9 years, I was in the hole because I just was so angry. Like I'm not supposed to be here. You know what I mean? And if I would have got a 10-month sentence, I would have been probably like the A1 inmate in there. But since I got 10 years and y'all want me to stay here, then y'all gonna have to pay for it. That's how I was thinking coming in at the age of 25. Okay, y'all want me here, now I'm here. And y'all just gonna have to deal with whatever come with it. You know what I'm saying? When you realize how much time you losing and who you really hurting, because I'm not getting closer to getting home. My date started out at me getting out at the end of 2018 or the beginning of 2019 all the way to the end of 2020. And then they started bringing in programs where you can get time back and stuff like that. So when things got recalculated, it was like the middle of 2020. But when I sat back and I thought about it, I can't lose another day. You know what I mean? So I had to grow up in there. Like a lot of my emotions came out when I was younger and I would just lash out.
Do you feel like it's changed you?
Yeah, it's changed me big time. Like I think before I hit people, I don't hit people no more for real. I don't remember the last time I hit a person, to be honest with you. I think about it a lot, but now I got stuff over my head. I'm on probation. If I hit somebody, and in the era that the world is in now, everybody got their camera phones out, and then my probation officers see that, then I'm in a situation. So what I got to do is I just got to walk away, man. You know, I'm thinking more than reacting, whereas though I used to react and then think. And she taught me that a little bit.
Yeah, because you just
Yeah,
like
so.
flying off the handle.
Yeah, but once I seen what she went through, y'all wouldn't even we couldn't even put it into words what she went through, to be honest with you. Like it was what she went through, and for her to thank God for ear what's the things called?
Music saved my life.
Yeah, she would put them headphones in and she would just tune that girl out because the girl was relentless. And
it was that bad? Like
it was bad, man.
All the time.
All the
I'm
time.
talking about, and we only on one unit and it's only 2 tiers and it's not much you can do. And the lady would just, you fat bitch, you want to be like, I'm sorry, I don't know if I
she
can
was
say
small.
that.
Yeah, you
she
can
was small. She's a young girl. She's about my daughter's age, you know?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, you old bitch. I mean, just anything you can think of, like walking by, just staring and trying. Yeah, it was just too much. Like
it wasn't too much for me. All I saw was a person trying to bring me down to their level. She could never, like, she's from DC, and I could tell you, I would probably never see her another day in my life. From
she's
where
in jail right now.
In the type of person I am, she would never be in the same environment.
Totally different crowds. Two totally different. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not gonna go in here and act fool, especially miss out on my visits. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
But
her
charge and my charge was totally different. You know, everything about her was beneath me, and I was not gonna stoop that low. I'm sorry, I wasn't.
And
but
it was mostly my fault because I dealt with her. Prior to Tameka, and when she seen me with Tameka, it was just like, oh, you think you better. And then it was just like, now Tameka's the target. So
that's why you be talking about DC people.
Right.
Because you was in there messing with them. See?
Terrible.
I messed with one and done. That's it.
One was enough, huh?
One was enough. She taught me a lesson.
She taught you a lesson.
She said, I'm going back.
Man, thank you guys so much. I really, really appreciate this.
Y'all have been so open and honest. I really appreciate y'all. We don't get that.
But one thing I am going to say, no, I've served my time. I've done my probation. I'm off papers, everything. But the downside to this is we're looked at totally different in society. Period. I came home and I was applying for cashiering jobs, but they want to do a background check. I couldn't even get a cashiering job because I'm a felon.
I haven't experienced it yet.
I couldn't drive for Uber because I was a felon. I'm in IT, so for me to make that good money, they want to do a background check. But it's sad to say, this will follow you around for the rest of your life, no matter how much time you serve. We're looked at totally different. I wish that would change. I think once you off of papers, it should be done away with.
I feel
No
like
matter
that
what your
too.
sentence is, no matter what,
I feel like
if
that
you've done
too.
your time, why do we have to give time to the government and to society? That's unfair to us.
That's a
Very
good
unfair.
point you make, because
That is.
you want us to come back into society and be a positive part, and you want us to be rehabilitated and all of that, but then I can't vote. So I can't
Wait,
vote.
hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a
You
minute. We
we've
did
been
so much
we've
research.
been researching. You might.
So
be
you're
able to
in
vote.
Jersey, right?
Especially.
Yeah.
We can vote.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you some stuff.
Yeah.
They
for
told me
real.
I
Yeah.
can't vote.
They
That's what the
probably lied.
man wants you to
I was in a
believe.
halfway house when I
Oh,
voted for Hillary
man.
Clinton. When I voted for
don't let
Hillary, I
them-
was in a halfway house. We can vote.
You can
Every
vote.
state has
Why
different
you ain't
different
tell me,
laws.
Tameka?
Everybody, a lot of states, probably yours. If you're still on papers, you cannot
I was
vote.
about to say it. Just
But see,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
in Maryland. Maryland, once you home, you home. You can
Yep.
Oh,
vote.
okay.
I think
So
it's like Vermont.
Yeah.
it was a couple of
A
places.
couple of places. Vermont was definitely one of them that you can even vote while you're still locked up
Mhm.
Exactly.
and with felony charges. Yeah.
Mhm.
Now the southern
Wow.
states
You know, they
are
ain't
they different.
fucking with it. They ain't fucking with it.
You know, they real Florida.
Yeah,
you
they
know.
like nah. But
You know.
a lot of northeastern and middle America.
And once you serve your time, once you're off of probation, some of it's like, oh, once you pay your fees, and that's what a lot of people fall up under. Is like, oh, well, I don't have the money to pay my fees.
Well,
so
I can tell you this: in the feds,
vote,
if you have a balance in the feds, they won't let you out.
Really,
that's like not giving you.
They take your money while you in. They take your money. So if people send you money, they'll take their cut off of it. They're going to get their money before
if you owe restitution.
Yeah.
Every 3 months, depending on how much money you getting in on your books, they do like a calculation of it of what you could afford. So every 3 months, if your family is sending a lot of money, it could be up to $100, $200. If you got you a nice little sugar daddy that's sending you thousands and thousands, they're gonna take big chunks out of your money.
Send it to her because you ain't taking my money.
That's exactly what.
Okay.
That's a criminal mind right there.
That's exactly.
You
good.
trying to garnish our wages.
Okay, send it to her. I'm gonna throw you something. Okay, you ain't about to take my shit. No.
Yeah, you know what's going on.
I'm gonna give you 2% of every dollar.
Every transaction.
So for every dollar I get, you get 20 cents. Okay, so what I'm gonna do? Dang, they garnishing wages.
I think that's the biggest setup right now. Is actually coming home trying to be productive, and you getting turned down. A lot of men feel the draft of that because they throw them somewhere like in construction or something, and they don't even have a background for it. So it's just like it's hard to rebuild, especially if you don't have a support system. Like, what if you come home and have nowhere to live? You know, you're staying in a shelter, living under somebody else's guidelines, having to try to find a job, and every application you put in, you're getting denied because your background check.
Yeah.
That's why I a lot on social media when I see these Black-owned businesses, I'll DM them and say, go to these halfway houses, get some of these people out the halfway house and train them and let them work because they need these skills to survive. And then once you train them, you can hire them. Yeah. But until we get away from, oh, you're a felon, no matter what your charge is, we can't hire you, it's always going to be full prisons because people can't survive out here without money. Right. And then they want to go back to robbing and stealing and whatever else they were doing.
And selling drugs.
And they'll go right back in.
Yep.
And I was going to ask y'all, what is something that you would want people to know or your biggest misconceptions about prison? But I feel like that message is loud and clear. Like, y'all ain't helping us. Like,
you don't have to be big, bad, and thorough to survive in prison. Look at me. It's all a mindset. It's all in your maturity. A lot of people with street cred come in and want to act real hard. I've seen that when we were in prison, you know. People form their own little groups and give each other these roles to play like they these big dogs and stuff like that. It's actually crazy, but again, I say it's high school to me. Because you don't know who you actually are in high school. You just get in where you fit in.
Yeah.
And you
but in prison, it's a saying in prison, you can be whoever you want to be in prison.
That's
you really can.
Atlanta.
That's
the
facts.
but yeah, that makes sense.
Hey.
This has been dope, y'all.
It has been.
I appreciate it.
So much.
Man, thank you. Yeah, really, really thank you. If you guys need anything from us, or yeah, Miss Donna or anybody else who wants to
She's
actually
still
talk.
talking about
Look,
Donna.
I'm telling
She
you.
trying to get this.
Hey, free Miss Donna.
Hey,
Exactly.
real.
anybody who wants to tell their story that you guys know of, just send them our way. That's what the platform is for. So
Okay.
For real.
for people
I
to
actually got somebody that I will be sending your way, and her story is so deep. I'm gonna just let her like contact you. Like
just send
it's
an
gonna
email.
be a good one.
Same way Tameka sent the email, just introducing us, and then we can take
Okay.
it from there.
All right.
So yeah,
Cool.
thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
And we'll send you all the stuff when this is
Right.
over to the editors.
That's right.
Why you
So how
laughing?
long that's gonna take?
So what I would like to do is so March is Women's History Month. And I think
Okay.
a lot of times we don't get to talk to women that have, it's all these women that have what people think have done these great things, but like just
Pioneers.
here, huh?
I said
Yeah.
big pioneers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big pioneers, but women of all walks of life. Like you
Yeah.
have kids. Lee, you
Y'all,
didn't.
everybody has a story.
Everybody has a story, and to be able to just allow women to tell their stories, something that stuck out to me in this conversation was one, the visitation rights that men get compared to the women, and they don't even birth kids.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
that is insane to me. And then for Leet, who didn't even do anything.
Yeah.
It was just the conspiracy to do it. And you got all that time. Like they could have just sent you to scare straight for real.
I'm telling you.
Right.
I'm telling you.
Face for a couple
Right.
weeks.
Let's
All
talk
right.
about this.
Right.
Yeah, like
Yeah, let's talk about this.
like, hey, you pretty little thing, something like that. Right. It would have set
We'd
you
have been in there fighting. We'd have
Look,
been in there fighting.
Look,
all they
man,
had,
I'm ready.
all they needed was that your girlfriend yelling at you. You'd have been like,
Well,
nope,
all right.
I'm good.
I'm done.
But
I
yeah,
was done.
so I think sometime in March we'll release it. But once it's done editing and stuff, we'll send you guys all the social media assets, the link for you guys to share it. And we release it everywhere. So they'll see your faces on YouTube.
Send
and then
you all the links to everything
yeah,
too.
the audio.
We famous to me.
I don't know. I think I'm scared.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
now, right?
Don't be scared now.
Look, just make sure my mother don't get this link, okay?
Look, she
Don't put it in any family group. Do not
Let me go unfollow.
Nah, you be popping up on people's feet.
No, I appreciate it though. I really do appreciate it. It's different for men and women. Women are usually the heads of households these days.
Everything.
And we lose a lot. Or I can say I lost a lot. But I gained a lot as well. I gained a very good friend, and I gained self-worth. If I was the same Tameka I was back then, yeah, I probably would have did my 10 months in a hole. But I went there with a totally different aspect on life. You know what I'm saying? My friend Mindy, hey Mindy, you missed it. She's the one who got me up from the table, like, well, come on, work out with us. I think when I started, I couldn't even work out for 3 minutes. But they pushed me, the three women, Donna, Mindy, and what's the instructor name?
Martina.
Martina. Pushed me every day to work out, to get my mind off of just sitting here. I think I read like 12, 13 books, but I learned a lot about myself. I really did. Never thought I would be in a place like that, but to survive it, even though it's only 10 months, is good for me.
Yeah.
So your stories and your minds are appreciated, and so is your patience, because y'all y'all ain't in the shoot, y'all out being able to tell the story. So thank y'all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck to the both of you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks,
All right.
Leet, for joining.
No problem.
Bye.